Good evening, and welcome to Let's Talk Trek. It is the four of us for once. Amazing.
Woo-hoo.
Oh, wow. Fancy that. So we are the UK's number one on a Sunday Star Trek show. I am not the doctor. I'm not the doctor either. I can now announce that. I've been holding on to that for a while. I've not known to say.
Here you have the 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th Doctors all lined up.
Russell, if you want to give me a ring, you know where to find us. Okay. So,
first of all, this evening, it's so nice to have a full house, as in all four of us here. And just a quick, we used to do this every week. I'd like to start doing it again because we have got a few new viewers, and I'd like everyone to introduce themselves and say where they're from. We'll start with us, and then I'd like to move on to our viewers, of which we have a plethora this evening. So if we could start to my left.
Hi, I'm Dan. I'm from the Trekkies Guide to the Galaxy. I'm from the United Kingdom. I'm in the middle near Manchester. If you're one of our international viewers, it's a place one of the airports you might fly into. And that's me. I'm sort of here. Hello.
To my diagonal right.
I'm Will Wheaton, and I present The Ready Room.
And directly below me, only in his position on the screen.
I am Carl, also Trekkie's Guide, and live about 5 minutes away from where Dan said he lives.
I'm Richard, I'm from the Rikers Beard, and I'm from sunny Margate in the south of the United Kingdom. So this evening, dear viewer, if you're watching, could you please hit us up and say, where you're from? We'd love to hear where you're from and what your favourite Star Trek episode is, what your favourite character is, and we will tell you why you're wrong.
Well, let's have a look at some of the basic hellos in there. So, let's get Carl. Can you throw some hellos up for us, please?
Why not?
A million mouse screens.
What ho, fake Carl?
Hello.
Mark, James and I rewatched the episode where you filled in for Carl at the con. We've never laughed so much. You were brilliant. It was so funny. It was great.
Oh, yes, your valuation. Oh, brilliant.
Hey, Gary.
Hey, matey.
Michael, spoiler-free for 8 weeks. Oh, I think that means that he can't watch it for 8 weeks. So he's going to
be understandable.
So while we're throwing up
we'll do a spoiler warning.
We are going to be discussing lots of things that are going to spoil things for you if you haven't watched the final of Picard or Strange New Worlds. We'll just get that out there.
Yeah, we will give warnings before we go into Strange New Worlds because we know that not everyone has been fortunate enough to have a trip to America paid for to go and watch it like we have. So
if you guys didn't tell me the end of Deep Space Nine when I finally got around to watching it 20 years after it finished.
20 years is in long enough time that we can do spoilers. Strange New Worlds, we will be talking about it, but there will be a warning. So if you don't want to know, you will get a chance to tune off. We will be talking about Picard in depth. If you haven't watched Picard season 2 ending episode, we'll tell you when you to stop listening for that one as well. Before that, though, we have got several cool features, and we're going to start with one of our first ones when Carl, which I'm going to move up into the top corner so that he becomes bigger. Hello, Carl. Gets to talk about collectibles. So quickly say hello to all the rest of the people before we do it. Let's have a look. Val, Christoph,
Stefania.
Hello.
Hey, Paul. Paul's from the valleys.
He is.
Hey, Vicky. Vicky's from Portsmouth.
Vicky, hello.
Paul, Dachien Siarad Cymraeg.
Hello, Trekkies.
Arkansas.
Oh, I love the way that you've said hello in a British way, Adam. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. It's marvellous. Stephen McCarthy. Nadim.
Nadim told the Trekkie girls that they are better than us on their live stream. Did you notice that? Terrible. In fairness, let's put it up show hands. Who thinks the Trekkie girls show is better than our show? I'll admit that.
It's different.
It is different. Talking of different, let's do this.
So, show of hands, gents. What am I showing first? The small package or the big package?
Well, what would the ladies say?
Size doesn't matter.
Carl's 4 kids will attest to that. Lol.
Go on then.
Let's see your big package.
Let's get on with it. Choose.
You want to see the big package, right? Okay. Here it is then.
Don't get moments of dead air time like this on Trekkie Girls.
Here's the big package.
Can you go further back? We can't see it.
I'm trying.
Have you opened it yet?
No.
Isn't that for ages 3 and up or something?
Yep.
No. It's ages 10 and above.
It's age 10.
So it says on the box, yes.
It's for age 10 up.
Carl, could you flap us up?
Over 10.
Hang on, let me open my flap.
No constable.
So this
I
is-
opened my
Understood what
flap
he
and
said.
it's full of funny little people.
So this is like Lego for children. Is this right? Is this what this is?
Yeah,
Okay.
Is it heavy?
little bit.
I mean, the ship looks a bit small, to be honest.
Yeah, but I think it's a bit bigger when it's fully constructed.
No, I mean, when you look at the figures, it doesn't look very spacious inside, does it? It's not, for example, the TARDIS.
Well, the original Enterprise wasn't as big as a Galaxy class, was it? It was a
I
different
don't think
different
it's the
vessel for a
scale
different
with the
era of
people.
space
It
exploration.
had more than 2 rooms, though. I mean, where's the
If we ask some
transport
review
room?
questions, can you hold it up with just one hand, not using the handle?
Not
Can you
using
dance
the
at the
hand.
same time?
Well, to be fair, that'd probably be easier because I'm used to carrying lots of trays.
So what does that AR mean?
That's the big one.
Well, all will be revealed because we're going to be doing some in-depth reviews on this because our lovely friends at Playmobil have sent it us to review. So there will be some review videos and unboxings, and essentially we're going to milk this for content as much as possible.
Oh yeah. There's a good few weeks worth of stuff there.
All will become apparent over the next couple of weeks.
You've got another thing to show us.
Get your. Oh, this hasn't even been opened yet.
This is still sealed. And
I'm really
everything. This is
hoping when
real
you open
special.
this, it's not a brick in there.
I really hope so as well.
Or
I
like,
hope it's one of those
or
coiled up
three-
spring snakes that springs out.
like a can of dog food, and the dog food's out of date.
I'll tell you what,
Double
Don't forget
disappointment.
to inhale the air as you open it.
customer service from these guys was absolutely fantastic. The postage on this was delayed by about 48 hours, and I got my postage refunded from the purchase, even though they gave me advanced warning that it was going to be delayed.
The problem, Christoph, in relation to your comment is that I'm a divorce lawyer, so I'm not really ideally suited to defend you in court.
Adam says that his favourite... Oh, let's not interrupt Carl's moment of glory.
Ah, right.
Don't
Oh,
lose the
it's a
fantastic
mirror
bit.
Spock.
It is the Mirror Universe, Mr. Spock.
I guarantee Paul Simons has already had it out.
There it
Wow,
is.
look at that.
Now,
think
speaking
we've
on
seen
behalf
that.
of, frankly, all 4 of us, I really resent this idea that any character who has a beard is automatically evil.
I'm afraid
Let's try and get a good
the
angle.
one thing that didn't sell me on Discovery's Mirrorverse was the lack of goatees. I think if Discovery's Mirrorverse had more
That's
goatees,
the only
would've
thing,
sold
was
more.
it?
Well, I think more goatees, you can't go wrong. Evil people have goatees, but that was just the way it is.
This is going to be a little tricky for us to see. Let me turn off my key light here for a moment, see if it helps. No, my screen's reflecting, unfortunately.
Ooh.
We
you're
can
gonna
have a
rip
more
it out of the
in-depth.
box
Are
then,
you going to
Carl.
do
That's the
a?
only solution.
Are you going to do a video review?
I will be doing a review, yes. So this is the one of the latest XO6 figures, Mr. Spock from the Mirror Universe. Comes with a plethora of accessories. And if you want to get your hands on one of these, tough. I believe it's sold out.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But All the Exo 6 figures are coming in at around £200, including postage. Now, I've already got the Lieutenant Commander data, which we've got a review video up on, and we shall be shortly doing one of these. It comes with a couple of accessories. So we've got the what's it called? The pain inducer thing.
Agonizer.
That's the one. So it comes with an agonizer, a phaser, a communicator, Spock's dagger, and about 3 or 4 sets of different hands there as well, by the look of it.
So a plethora of hands.
So you've got a hand for every job then?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
But yes,
Right.
it does look like a lovely piece. So looking forward to getting that out and having a look properly.
Wonderful. Right. So let's have a look at some of the comments.
Do you have any hands that do dishes?
So let me read this out. If you can put that back up, I'll read it out. Favorite Trek is The Next Generation, and Shran from Enterprise is my favorite Trek character aside from Spock. I'm going to have to say you're probably correct there, mostly. Yeah. Near the Valley is about 45 minutes. Yeah, I live by the coast. Yeah, I could not live by the coast with my hay fever, but the valleys are truly beautiful. What a whopper of a size.
I'm guessing you're talking about my larger package there, Mark.
We hear this a lot on this show. This is something we get frequently commented upon.
Let's have a look. Get 3 comments as quickly as we can. Gary says,
did you notice 70%? Some of us watch 100%. I think he's referring to the voyeurism that goes on with Let's Talk Trek and the Trekkie Girls. Too heavy for a 3-year-old.
Voyeurism.
I will be able to test that. As long as I test that before Thursday when William turns 4, I'll be able to confirm that for you.
Children and the simpletons who suck at building things like me laugh out loud. Behave, James. She's... Oh, there's Val with her legs open. Hey, Val.
Val's talking about the Enterprise.
Shy Vicky, 50% girls.
It's true that.
Do you think there's a song? Because there's music to watch girls go by, but is there a music for girls to watch boys do Let's Talk Trek by or something? And if not, Richard, can you write it quick?
Paul says yes, he's already got his, and he's ordered Cisco, and he's opened it. Adam says,
I really like the look of the...
What day is it the Trekkie Girls do their show on? It's Friday, isn't it?
It is.
Yes.
Adam's watched his. Adam says that's an insane figure. Carly likes that. It's funny. It says Spock's beard is sexy. By the logic of beards, did Riker become evil?
I mean, Riker's beard is obviously the most awesome element of TNG and sci-fi in general, but when he has the goatee, he is evil Riker.
Yeah, there's a difference between a goatee and a beard. Okay? For example, mine is a cross between the two because I'm a little bit evil. James is possibly the nicest person you could ever meet. He has a full beard. But there you go.
Well, thinking of the goatee bit, do you remember the episode of DS9 with Thomas Riker in where he steals the Defiant? And at the moment we find out he's Thomas Riker, he peels off these bits to reveal that he has just the goatee, the evil goatee.
Carl,
I wonder if
question
James
about
could do that. James?
Carl, question about your Exo 6 from Paul. Did you buy it direct or was it from a UK supplier?
Direct from Exo 6. I pre-ordered it when they announced it.
Fantastic.
Sorry, Christoph. Yes, my mistake. I'd stated pounds. It's been a very long week.
Of course we count, Vicky.
I count, Vicky.
So yeah, fantastic collectibles, and we're looking forward to the reviews on these in the next couple of weeks.
Vicky makes up a plethora of Trekkie Girls.
I've got something.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
We've got a plethora of collectibles this week. So I've been up in my loft and I moved the body out of the way and I found something. All right.
Ooh.
Now, Carl and I have been having a race for the last 30 years to see who can build this the quickest. And as you can see, I've got about, it was more than I thought, I've got about 65% of the windows drilled out. But, and this is the bit I'd completely forgotten, I'd already assembled, drilled, and primered the hull.
Ooh,
Already. I'm well ahead of the game. Look at that.
impressive.
Yeah. So I'm going to put it back in the box for another 7 years now.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Mine's
You're
been
a
sat on
Falcon,
my
aren't
desk.
you? Every 7 years, you have the urge to build the model of Voyager.
Are you going to?
So the reason Carl and I are taking so long building these is because that we're going to put lighting kits in them because it looks so lit up. So you've got to drill out the windows, which is a real pain because they're rectangular. So you can't just drill them out. You then have to get a file and file them to the corner. Oh, have you got all those out? Have you now?
I have.
Oh wow!
I'm just going to trade places with you for a moment.
No.
So yeah, so you can see that they're rectangular. So you have to. Well, my method is I drill a hole in the center, and then I get a file and I file them out to the edges. That's the only way I've found that I can do them.
Now, there is somebody in the Star Trek community who does some amazing model work. Liam Dillon. Have you seen some of his models? They are
very good.
absolutely amazing. And he frequently sends me pictures, stuff he sends out. He's just on a Millennium Falcon that is absolutely insane. Like really, really good.
Well, I've been planning to do another one since I did my Enterprise one because my Enterprise one I built it and auctioned it off for charity, and that's what
He doesn't like to talk about it.
I don't like to talk about it, but that's what spurred me on to get that out of the loft because I'm going to build it, paint it, light it up, and I'm going to auction this one off. But most probably something to do with probably UNICEF. I'm going to do it for. So I'm hoping to get it completed. I'm hoping to have it completed and fully lit up in time for Destination Star Trek London this year, where I plan to auction it off. The Enterprise model I think I got a couple of £100 for that, which is phenomenal. So if I can get anything close to that for the Voyager one, I'll be absolutely delighted.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Right, so thank you for your collectibles, boys. And I feel like left out because I've not got anything to show you. So awkward. Oh, moving on. Right, we're going to have a quick talk. Let's put the spoiler warning up. So we're going to put the spoiler warning up for Picard Season 2. We're not going to talk Strange New Worlds yet. This is Picard. If you've not yet seen Picard Season 2, this is your opportunity to come and catch us later on Watch Back. If you are watching
or just watch the dodgy subtitles and see if you can make it out.
If you are watching us on Watch Back now and you've come back to the show after watching Picard Season 2, welcome back. Your comments, unfortunately, won't be shown on the screen because it's too late. We'll finish the show by now. Watch along.
It's also too late to go into our live prize draw.
Yeah.
But you may still be charged.
Yes.
It's Elnor. Elnor will come round to your house and be your house elf.
Wrong show.
No, Elnor's a Star Trek character. That's the Vulcan, no, Romulan from Picard.
Yes.
The New Zealand chap.
Okay, so now before we put some slides up, which you've got some images from Picard Season 2, I thought it might just be fun to have a chat about... We're going to go back to the beginning of this show about 10 weeks ago when we all sort of said what we thought might happen. Were any of us correct?
Yes.
I can't remember. We said Picard would be absolutely awesome and some of the best Trek ever made, and we were right.
Okay.
I think I did say that this will all be about Q making friend. I made some comment about Q looking for his own absolution, I think is what I said. He was looking for his own absolution when he was hinted at that he was dying. So I think I score points for that.
Okay. How would we rate this episode out of 10?
Oh, I'll give it a 12. Only a 12. Not as good as some of the other episodes.
I'm going to go with an 8.
James?
18.
Okay. So in the unique way that NPS is calculated, that makes it about a 6. Hang
on, Dan. You didn't give us your rating. You can't abstain.
I'm the moderator. I can abstain if I wish.
Come on. So Richard and I, between us,
I'm
have
gonna go
given this 20 out of 30.
No,
No.
so
20
come on,
out-
let's do this seriously. Let's give it some
Whatever.
serious marks. James, actual mark out of 10.
Well, if I have to, if you're telling me I can't go above 10, I'm going to give it 10.
James, Richard.
But then you're just no fun.
I also give it a 10, and then we have a plethora of 10s.
Okay. I am going to give it an 8. I'll tell you why.
Well, you're wrong.
I'll explain my 8. They were very, very keen on saying about butterflies and not affecting the timeline or anything like that. That was very much you couldn't do anything which would affect the timeline. And Picard season 2 has been multiple deaths of all the soldiers. Well, what if they were meant to have families and things in the future? There is Rios being just left behind. Let's just leave him behind. There is.
Well, Dan, I'm just going to suggest you look up predestination paradox and come back and admit you're wrong.
And I'll also tell you another reason why you're wrong, and that was the great Bill Shatner himself said you can't let any form of canon get in the way of a good story.
Maybe so, Christoph, but I can spell lawyer.
Oh, well, let's have a look. So Estefany says that Elnor is the Wesley Crusher of Picard. Changed my mind.
The thing is, I do actually quite like Elnor's character because, as our regular viewer may know, I dabble in the martial arts, and his martial arts scenes are pretty cool. That's where it ends.
Okay. Let's put some slides up and have a chat then. So
let's talk Trek.
Let's talk Trek.
Who knew?
Poof.
So first off, we've got this is Picard's. This is Pictionary. No, no whiteboard.
This is changing
No.
room.
Is it?
This
This is a terrible thing to say, but it looks like Rios is about to pee, and everyone's like, "No, don't do it."
There was a line in this where Picard talked about the bullet holes in the wall, and they all thought it was from the Second World War, and in the future, but actually it turned out it was the soldiers.
Is he about to do a very dangerous impression of a Klingon willycopter substituting with his cigar? Because that, well, I suppose if it's not lit.
Yeah.
Oh, Carl, look. Here's a collectible for you. Look, there's Rios's lighter. Look.
Very nice.
Here's a question. So this is in France, or supposedly in France. A scene later, we see Brent Spiner smashing up his office because he's lost, essentially. How did he get back from France to the US so quickly? Because he didn't have a transporter.
He probably drove
really
really
get to the States
fast.
to watch Strange New Worlds.
Hmm.
It's all to do with time differences.
Again, you seem again, Dan. You seem to be quite adamant to pick out technicalities to reduce this. You shouldn't let that get in the way of a good story. I mean, this particular scene here.
Is that Nick Knowles? Is that what it is?
I don't actually remember what that bit from it. What were they talking about here?
What do we do? What do we do now that we're stuck in the?
So where's what's her face? Where's Space MILF?
You have seen the episode, right?
Yeah, you were here with me. I was drinking.
Right. Move forward a couple of times.
Don't you remember what happened to Tallinn?
I don't.
Yeah. This.
Yeah, I remember this bit.
happened.
That's not her. That's
But it
Space
is,
MILF.
Richard. It is her.
Look.
She's in disguise.
That's her.
Ooh.
Yeah, right. So there we are. Right.
Do you remember when she revealed her ears and said, I've got a cloak?
So this is evil Data shook her hand with a neurotoxin. And at the time, we both commented, like, why did she even shake it? Why did she just give him a swift kick in the Johnsons and leg it But I thought they handled her death quite well. I thought, she seemed happy. She was
She
looking
could
up
be
the
like Scott Evil. Yeah, let's shoot
Now,
her in the face. Bang! He'll be dead.
that-
That's it. Problem solved.
That poison by a handshake has been used in TV before. Can you tell me where?
Man from U.N.C.L.E.?
No. It was used in 24 as a method of poisoning the president.
I've not seen it. I've tried 24. I fell asleep.
Yeah, it was used in 24, which just sort of threw my mind back to that. I was like, ah.
Those 8 hours where Jack is asleep are a bit dull, aren't they?
Like when he's in the can thinking, or he's in the can on his phone playing Snake.
Possibly, but Q was finding his clicky fingers didn't work, wasn't he?
Let's have a look. So prizes apparently, very quickly. If first place is a house elf, second place can be a no blink contest with Gowron. And Christoph would like to point out he can spell yacht. So,
But can you spell luxury yacht?
can you spell
Actually, I think you'll find, Christoph, that you can't spell cat. That's the worst spelling of cat I've ever seen. Sorry, Christoph. Couldn't
Let's have a look.
understand.
Also, it's by real staying in the past. He knows to be wary of what to be careful of by not interfering. He didn't know. He died in a bar fight. That's not being careful,
To be
is
honest,
it?
lads, that's the way we're all going to go out, isn't it?
Well, either way, we're talking about this particular slide here. I quite liked the death scene. Thought it was well done. Of course, quite when her face came back and her little pointed ears came up.
You say that, Richard, but 2 minutes ago you didn't remember it.
No, I didn't remember them all in the house. I don't remember that scene. I remember this scene. This is after she's had a handshake with the neurotoxin. I think
But it wasn't a
maybe
handshake.
It
It wasn't a
the face.
handshake. He kind of like caressed her face to comfort her.
I don't remember that.
Mm.
Well, either way, so she's dead.
I mean,
Move on.
you were definitely in the room when we watched it after we flew to the States.
No, we watched this one in the UK.
No, we watched this on the flight
We
on the way over.
went over to the
Oh,
States.
it's
Yeah.
on the flight, was it? Okay.
On the flight.
It's been a busy week. I forgot. Right, moving on. Boom.
So James and I both. I'm sorry to jump in if anyone's got. I've been hogging the mic a bit. Someone wants to jump in with their thoughts on this scene first.
This is the Reiki massage scene.
I think James and I both agreed when this scene concluded that's possibly some of the best one-to-one character acting we've ever seen in Star Trek. I thought it was absolutely superb. These are two actors at the absolute top of their game, feeding off of each other, delivering us a feast of entertainment. I was left fully in awe. I think I had to pause it and go for a wee. I mean, it was just everything about this scene. When I say I mean everything. The acting, of course, the dialogue, the writing, brilliant. The cinematography, first class. The set dressers, fantastic. Everything about this scene worked. Talk about 18 out of 10. 20 out of 10 for this scene alone, because it was just a masterpiece.
Yeah, I mean,
So much closure in it, so much longevity of the characters,
and importantly, no hugging.
Yet.
there was the question of. It was when Q said to Picard, "Ask me the question," and Picard says, "Why?" and Q says, "No, ask the question. Why me?" And it's just like, And I said it on the Trekkie Girls stream, and it was just the instant thought I had was when John Delancey uses the line, "Even gods have favorites," and I wanted Picard to come back with the, "I've already told you, you are not a god. The universe is not that badly designed." That's the line I wanted him to come out with. It's just like, oh. And it's sort of pulled into, actually, you know what, this has been like the biggest banter across 30 years. And Richie said it before, and I think Q is not predominantly not evil, No.
Well, he was.
Next time someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes.
I think if there's any DC fans here, I think I can best liken him to Mrs. Picklett, because he can, with his carelessness for human life, he can cause tragedies and not even realise it. So he's bloody dangerous. But yeah, I think this scene really showed the way that the characters, especially where you've got the TNG episodes like Cupid and Tapestry, not so much True Q, but you've got those episodes, and then you've got the Voyager ones where the Q character develops, and you learn that he is like Mixus Pitlick. He's not a bad guy. He's just like a 3-year-old that's been given godlike powers. That's his thing. And he's come back looking for absolution, and he's using Picard for that. No, Picard's his excuse.
There was a line in All Good Things when it's at the very end where Picard sat there with his head in his hands. And the line goes along the lines of the part about the helping hand, that was my idea.
Mm.
And he's like, oh, right. He's like, but I sort of got you into this in the first place. So yeah, he's like, I messed up, but then I helped you out. And this is sort of how Q and Picard's thing has been. I will always be there to help you, but occasionally I'll cause a bit of a ruckus in the meantime. But now there is,
in All Good Things, it was a directive from the Continuum.
Yeah. So the question is now at this point, we know that Q introduced the Enterprise and the Federation to the Borg, and now we know that the Borg have helped essentially defend the universe or defend the quadrant. Did Q?
You're jumping well ahead now. You're jumping ahead. Before we go any further, there's about 2 of you watching us now live. So if you could both please hit the thumbs up, button, the heart one or the emoji, one of those. If you could do one of them, please. That helps us with our ratings and things like that. So if you could please hit the like button, the heart emoji, or would be most grateful.
And Richard, as you mentioned DC, of course, shall we just all raise a glass to George Perez, who died today, age 67, one of their most acclaimed artists.
No.
Safe travels, sir.
Who else died today? Dennis Waterman, wasn't it?
Dennis Waterman, yes, he died at 74 years of age. George Perez, only 67.
Dennis Waterman.
So let's have a look quickly through the comments. Paul said he's rated this episode 10. And the Dim says the poison on the hand was used in Death in Paradise on a chess set. I've not seen Death in Paradise.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Oh, that's true. Yes, that is true. The contact poison on the pieces. Yeah.
You've got to watch Death in Paradise. The game is, can you work it out quicker than the main character? That's the game you've got to play.
Is it like Midsummer Murders?
I've not seen that.
No. Well, yeah, it's a very convoluted death plot. Yeah.
Yeah. What I've found is with Death in Paradise, and I've only watched the first season, is the clues are there. You can work it out for yourself if you pay attention. That's what I like about it. People you watch it with, when you get it, and they don't like it so much when you.
James, you're our resident Bab 5 person.
No, I'm not.
Oh, you're not? I thought you were.
I've seen it, but
Well,
I don't think he's asking a question. It's a statement. I think Christoph is almost certainly always right about everything, apart from how to spell cat. So we'll take him on that.
Beautiful diagonal accent, says Vicky.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Vicky. I think Vicky was actually paying me a personal compliment then for my the way I summed up that scene. So thank you for that.
They didn't.
A plethora of compliments.
They did. A plethora of compliments. Yeah.
Who knows? That's a possibility.
I think the queue is separate to Wesley's bunch.
So let's go on to the next slide. I haven't some things that you'd think we got pictured of. We haven't. Don't ask. The big goodbye.
Oh, Richard, you knew it was coming.
We knew it was coming. We called it, didn't we? Do you know when it happened? I was ready to. Have we got the sting of what's her face going? Bleh? No, we haven't. But I mean, James and I looked at each other.
Beautiful moment.
Yeah, James and I looked at each other. We both said exactly the same thing. We said it's a beautiful moment, but a firm handshake would have sufficed.
Yeah.
Possibly a pat on the back.
Possibly a pat on the back. Yes, a firm handshake would have been more appropriate, I feel.
It's like when your father sends you off out into the world, isn't it? And he offers you his hand and says, Off you go.
Yeah.
Never contact me again.
Dear Jacob, if you're watching this in about 18 years' time and your dad has just walked into your room with his hand outstretched, you are being evicted from the house.
Well, I'll probably turn up with a rent book first.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
I did enjoy it. I think it was
look
too
at it now in freeze frame. Look at the look on. You're right about how the acting on it is. Look at it's the sorrow in Delancey's face there. You know, the sadness and the sorrow. They do put it across really well.
It is something that more senior actors or more senior individuals are better able to do because of age and experience, and frankly, just wrinkles are better able to project a whole range of emotion without saying anything.
Well, do you remember our interview with friend of the show, David Warner, when we reenacted the Four Lights scene with him? And the amount he was able to put into that singular look that he gave you was incredible. And he didn't have to say anything. He just looked at it, and I could just feel the disdain. No, he was in character. He was in character. It was absolutely superb.
So let's move on to our next one.
Before you do, like you say, the range of emotion on Delancey's face there, it's awesome. You can pick out about 5 or 6 different feelings straight off.
You can. I've seen this done before. I don't know if you guys have seen it. There's a very popular sitcom called Friends, and in one of the friends in the show is an actor, so you get an insight onto how actors do it. This is called sniffing the fart. So, if you look at John Delancey there, he's actually, can I smell something, or
yeah.
That's what it's done.
That look on his face is him going in the back of his head.
Displays a range of emotions
that Nadim's just made. Picard shows more affection with Q than he did with Laris towards the end.
Well, he's known him longer.
Yeah.
Done more. They've had more adventures together. Possibly. Been a bit extra. Yes. That's a good way to describe Q. A bit extra. A wonderful conclusion. Yeah, I'd agree with that, Vicky. A wonderful conclusion to their friendship that should have been a firm handshake.
Oh,
no, that's
at the end of the slides I've got for this one.
Hang on a minute. Whoa, you cut that can't be the end of the slides.
Well, unless you've got a magic device which puts more slides on my computer. Yes, it is.
I've got so much more to talk about. How are we doing for time?
Right. So let's go into some of the bits that we haven't got slides for. Let's talk about Wheaton.
I think James should take the lead on this.
You said that with a very funny tone in your voice. All right, Sheldon, calm down.
It was a lovely appearance. I mean, it was. Somebody said it again. I had the joys of watching the Trekkie Girls just after they watched this on Friday, because I'd watched it and then they were reviewing it just after I'd finished watching it, so it was all very fresh in my mind. And someone on their show, or one of them said it was Will Wheaton playing Will Wheaton mentioning Wesley Crusher. It was not Will Wheaton playing the role of Wesley Crusher.
Can I just ask you to pronounce it Will Wheaton, please?
And it's
right, Stewie, calm down.
It's very true. The whole "come with me, you might not be safe" reminded me of Doctor Who. Did you get that sort of vibe from it, James?
Sorry, say again.
The whole "come with me, I can't guarantee your safety" reminded me of David Tennant as the Doctor.
Oh, did it? No, it didn't really.
Oh, okay.
No, David Tennant, significantly better delivery, I would say, in getting that across. No, and what we found out was that the Travellers and the supervisors, who were the Gary Seven type characters, are actually connected.
You see, I saw a very different connection with that scene. And I really wanted Will Wheaton to say, "Come with me if you want to live. And that would. All right, why? Why Wheaton? What was the point of that scene? They're not going to have their own spin-off series, are they? Will Wheaton and the Watchers? That's not going to happen.
Well, they didn't have that funny phasing effect when they disappeared, like the Traveller did.
No, it
looked like transported.
Yes.
Why? That was 3 minutes. Didn't need to be there.
No, firstly, I am amazed and absolutely amazed that it was kept a secret for as long as it was. In this day and age, when everyone on set has a phone or a someone that's a little trailer tweaker, or
when you do a scene that no one cares about, no one talks about it.
Wow!
Shots fired.
I strongly disagree with you. I think it was
I do actually quite like Will Wheaton. There's a really mediocre book called Ready Player One.
What? That's the best book ever written.
And I listened to the Audible version, which was narrated by Will Wheaton. He was a superb narrator. I really enjoyed him reading the story. He actually made the book better. So I don't mind him so much. But what was the purpose in bringing back his character?
Well, maybe that's going to be revealed in season 3.
And it was nice because you know that the character of Wesley Crusher was meant to be in one of the Star Trek films, but the footage was taken but then cut out.
No, he did actually appear very, very briefly at the start of Nemesis in the wedding scene.
Very briefly at the wedding, he was sat next to his
there was
mum.
more footage of Wheaton that was cut out of that.
Oh,
film.
yeah,
he was in uniform.
He was
in full dress uniform, yeah.
Yeah. So it was nice to sort of see him make an appearance. Who knows? We might see him in season 3 for the TNG reunion.
I don't think we'll see him in season 3, but it begs the question as to whether Corey, the girl that he took with him, will appear in season 3.
So let's talk.
We know that Rios and Jurati are not in it, don't we? They're both confirmed they're not in season 3.
Yeah, we know that bit. Now, I'm aware that time is progressing, so we'll get through this as quick as we can. They get back to the future. Q's given them a gift, which is, as we learn, the return of Elmore. Beautiful little moment there. What's with... We all do it.
Dead Elmore in the freezer.
It was nice to see Jurati as the Ball Queen, with the mask unveil. That was
I don't think it did a lot for her, if I'm honest with you. It's not a good look. You want to see a good Borg look? 7-9. That's a good Borg look. What they did with her, they sort of trussed her up like a tomato poking out from a black vegetable patch.
It did make her 400 years old at that point as well, didn't it? I mean, it didn't look bad for someone who was 400.
Can we now discuss the thing at the center of the galaxy with the fire?
Didn't look that big an anomaly, though. When you consider that you could see the ships next to it, it seemed quite a modest-sized thing.
But then, when seen from Earth, it was huge. But again, don't let that get in the way of a good story.
So I have a theory on this, and I have an actual theory on this. And I talked about it last night with my boss because he's a Trekkie as well. We had a little natter about this.
Oh, we should have him on the show.
So, do you remember that in season 2, episode 1 or 2, when Picard's office, there was the tablet of the prophets?
Yes,
we saw it on a desk smashed.
And never came up again, did it?
No, and then there was this fire that came out of the transport conduit, which tried to burn the galaxy. Could it be?
You're thinking Par Wraiths?
I'm thinking Par Wraiths.
And then it turned blue, like the prophets.
Yes. Now, I'm probably reading far too much into that, but Picard's the tablet was there and never really talked about. Sisko said he would eventually return. We know that all the DS9, we know all the TNG lot are coming back, which includes Worf, who was on DS9.
Maybe O'Brien will be back. He is, after all, the most important person in the whole of Starfleet history.
I mean, I could be a trillion miles off the mark, but
hell no, brilliant.
Who knows?
Did anyone want to see our man Brett Goldstein on Sesame Street?
Today's word starts with the letter F.
I love the letter F.
Right, a bit more seriousness, please. Thank you.
Okay, so the issue I've got with the way they've ended it is we're not going to talk about Discovery. We've got better things to do. But I'm just getting tired of anomaly after anomaly after. Give us a baddie with a gun or a sword, or trying to fire a rocket into a star to blow people up. I'm fed up with flipping anomaly. I really am.
I kind of saw it as for want of a better term, I kind of saw that last bit of almost as in the Picard writers kind of taking the piss a bit because, excuse my French, because a couple of scenes earlier, John Delancey was specifically saying as Q, no need for all these, galaxy-threatening anomalies, and he was going on, and he literally, while he was saying it all, I was like, you're just reciting exactly what most fans have been saying. There's no need for galaxy-ending stakes all the time.
Every
this was all about
Discovery. It's going to end the universe. It's going to end all time. And it's just like, just give us a bit. Do you remember when Klingons used to look like bad-tempered Mexicans? Like, like, give us that again. Come on, let's have a Khan. Let's have a real villain we can hate and not have to worry about making friends with him or hugging him. Give us a baddie, a proper baddie,
someone who is unashamedly evil.
You want to go and grab a phase rifle, turn that sumbitch sideways, and ram it right up where the sun doesn't shine. That's what we want. We want someone we can hate, not someone we want to make friends with. Okay, that's okay every now and again, but it's been done to death. Come on, let's have a proper baddie, please.
Or bring back Kai Wynn.
Oh, as a good villain. Or Gulda Kutt. Oh, as a good villain. Oh, yes.
Well, who knows? We shall wait and see for that one. You're right. Star Trek's always done some very good baddies, though.
Not for a long time, though. That's what I'm annoyed about. Yes, Vicky said absolutely right. Do you know what? I'll send them an audition tape, and we can watch it next week.
Well, let's get John Sim to audition. He was brilliant as the Master. He could go and do something, couldn't he?
Oh, he'd be a good baddie. He'd be a very good baddie.
Well, British actor, he's going to be brilliant to start with anyway.
Is David Niven dead?
I'm afraid David Niven has been dead for quite some time.
Right then. So that was
do read his autobiography, The Moon is a Balloon. It is simply wonderful.
So that was Picard season 2. Now, I'm going to give us a couple of options here. We can either quickly talk about roughly Strangely Worlds without going into any plot details. And we could give plot details next week, so people who might be watching from America can have a week. We'll review it a week behind, if that makes sense. Or we can just go into it now.
Should we put the vote to the order? Do people watching, can we talk about Strange New Worlds, or would you rather we didn't? I think that's a fair
join us on Let's Talk Trek Noir.
Let's Talk Trek Noir. I've got a little clip.
That has a pay-per-view entry.
I've got a little clip of Next Talk Trek Noir the guys don't know about.
Oh, play it.
Oh, I can't. Dan will have a
play it. Roll VT.
I can't. Dan will have kittens.
I've seen this clip. I think it's brilliant.
Hang on a bit. Have we voted yet?
Oh dear.
No one in the audience decided if we want to talk about Strange.
Nadeem wants us to go into specifics next week.
Right.
Gary says go for it.
Well, can we just talk about what our impressions were?
Okay. I'm not going to go into specifics. Put the red alerts on. Right, Richard, put your clip up first. Come on.
No, you better put the red alert up first.
You're going to...
And welcome to this week's Let's Talk Trek Noir.
Oh my!
Hang on. I I kind of feel the need just to pop this banner up again for a moment.
On the same week that we've been invited to go to a national show. Fantastic. Awesome.
See, I told you you'd love it.
Oh, you don't get this on other streams.
No, you won't get this on the Trekkie Girls, I guarantee. Oh, quite like, look, dear God, my eyes.
Right, the overwhelming majority of people are asking us to talk about specifics next week, so we're going to do Strange New Worlds in depth with
What
slides.
are impressions this week?
A week in a week. What I will say is Strange New Worlds, and we'll just do the times get away. So we'll do basic impressions. How would you rate the episode? And I'll start at the top. I'll start at the top and come sort of around. So, Richard, go first.
I'll give it a solid, probably 30 out of 10.
Broms.
I'll go for the top 10 out of 10 mark.
Jay.
I gave it 21 out of 10.
I would say
This was the trek that we were waiting for. This
I'll
is
give it
what
a
we
solid.
wanted.
it was 10 out of 10, and I would say, and I did just say actually to somebody before the show, it was the single best episode of Star Trek we've had since Enterprise.
I mean, I mean this as a compliment in the most serious, but it felt like I was watching an episode of The Orville. It was just brilliant.
I would argue it's actually the best Star Trek experience we've had since Enterprise, including movies that have been released since.
Yeah, and including Orville, it was better than it was better than any episode of The Orville as well. It was better than The Orville. It was fantastic. Just get that. Oh yeah, Star Trek show.
Star Trek 2009.
And that was an absolute treat. And then we watched Strange New Worlds straight afterward, and it's like,
we had a really good night, didn't we, James? I mean, we ate lots of crisps. We drank wine. We watched the Trekkie Girls. We watched all the Star Trek. I mean, it was just fun. We filmed that little helicopter bit. James was holding the camera. We did
camera.
So many good things.
Wow.
Yeah. If you're going to watch this, dear viewer, you're not going to be disappointed. And if you are disappointed, I don't know what will make you happy.
Now,
I'm
going to
play it again because Dan will get upset.
Now we are going to do this before we do our next thing.
Tell you what, we seem to be having a plethora of red alerts this evening.
Yeah, plethora of alerts.
Now, I'm going to pre-do this with a warning. The following feature are Richard's views and do not necessarily reflect those of the show. Richard, you had some thoughts about the fact that some people have been able to watch Strange New Worlds and some people are still unfortunately going to have to wait.
It's been a while since I've done this, but I'm going to have
Welcome to the gun show.
Oh, sorry.
Dan, let me do it.
What's going on?
I feel
Honestly, you ask me to be in charge of these things and then you meddle around in it and don't let me be in charge.
Sorry, I didn't open my mouth.
Rant away, dear Richard, rant away.
Right, okay, so here we go. Right. Seriously, get a grip, right? I'm really pleased that everyone in North America, which have the biggest audience for Star Trek, which is fair enough, in one location, on one continent, they have Paramount Plus and they can watch Strange New Worlds. That's fantastic, and I hope you've all enjoyed it. Genuinely, I hope it makes you feel a bit special that you've got it before the rest of us as well. But the real issue that you have here is that you're not creating more demand for the product. Okay, but by taking it away from, it's not just us, but let's say the UK, by taking it away from the UK, from us having to hear secondhand and probably spoilers as well, because of social media these days, it's transatlantic, it's international. You know, there's no hiding away from finding out things that are going to spoil the show for us, unless we find other means to watch it. Now, whatever those means are going to be detrimental to your product. I guarantee you. I guarantee you that there's no if or but about if people find other ways to watch the show other than by the one that you're denying us, then what's the purpose of us paying the money for it when it comes out and we can watch it legitimately? It's lunacy. It's stupid. Stop it. You're not clever. You're not big. Okay, it's just really annoying everyone in the UK and probably the rest of us as well. So cut it out. If you can't, for whatever reason, can't release Paramount Plus in the UK yet, that's fine. Guess what? There's like 10 other ways you can release it for us to watch instead that you can still make money off, and we won't be looking for other means. So screw your heads on, basically. Get a grip. Dan's approached them for comment. They've not even acknowledged, let alone declined. Just leave us here hating you then. Fine, whatever. But you're not doing yourselves any favors.
Now, it is interesting to note that we are going to be getting Paramount Plus in, I believe, is it July? June. So we are getting Paramount Plus in sort of a month or so. Star Trek is obviously Paramount's big jewel in the crown at the moment. It's the thing they're spending a lot of money on. In the same way that when Disney acquired Star Wars, Disney Plus turned into essentially there was the traditional Disney stuff, which they've done really well, but then there was a whole new Star Wars section. And I think it's going to be very much the same when P Plus comes out over here. There will be a dedicated almost subsection to Star Trek. I think Rich is right. It would have been nice to have either release your streaming service to the world and then release your new show on your streaming service as your headline act, and let everyone have it at the same time. This staggered approach doesn't really do anyone any good, and that's it's sad to see. It's not.
Well, it's the interesting thing is that they tend to use the UK market as an acid test for most of their shows, because if stuff does well in the UK, it tends to do well in the US, and we're an easier market to monitor. And I wonder if it's because they don't monitor anymore, because everything's filmed in one go. It's not a reactive filming process like it used to be.
Some of the comments. Adam says it's not cool that we don't get to see it at least simulcast. I don't know the exact statistic, but wasn't Game of Thrones at one point one of the most pirated programs on the internet?
Yeah. So this is an interesting thing. Again, we're going to how we feel about Discovery, but interestingly, CBS refused to release viewing figures for Discovery for the final season. So I looked up a torrent site and saw how popular it was, and it was less than half as popular as Picard. But yeah, so you're gonna hide everything. Literally, you've got to find out everything by going to illegal means and sites. It's lunacy.
Paul says, if you have Sky,
Ziggy has said it's a 98.6% chance Richard is here to persuade Paramount CBS to release things to us at the same time.
That's why I did this first, just to let them know I meant business.
So I have actually reached out to one of our media contacts at Paramount Plus this week, because a couple of things in the pipeline, and yeah, it's unfortunate we're not getting it until it comes out, and that's just a bad way of doing it. So if, like us, you've had to go and spend a fortune to fly to America, yeah.
I mean, it's not just there's other shows. Star Trek is one example, and we shouldn't pick, because we love Star Trek. We shouldn't pick just on Star Trek. There's frequent shows this happens with. The new Superman show is one that's it's a really good show. Can't speak high enough of it. And again, we I think we didn't get the first season until it had fully concluded in the States before it was available in the UK.
I think if
what I'm alluding to is it's plot heavy. Like, there's twists and turns all over the place, and because of international modern social media, it's just not fair letting some regions have it first, because it's going to it spoils the enjoyment. It's.
I think as much as some people hate the House of Mouse, and they have got their streaming service pretty bang on, to be honest. Worldwide release at exactly the same time, episodic week by week. It's Disney have sort of set the bar on what a streaming service should be. Netflix held it for a long time, but I think as a streaming service, Disney is much better these days. And I think
very good.
I think Paramount Plus, that's where you need to be aiming for. That's sort of how they're doing it. And it's a new streaming service, and it'll take time, and I get that, and I understand that, and we'll support it. But like Richard says, we're going to sign up to it because we go to events and we want to be legitimate legal and all of that, absolutely all of that. Because Star Trek only gets made if they can see a return on investment. So we've got to buy it, otherwise they're not going to make more Star Trek, and then we end up in a place where there is no Star Trek again. But just sort out your release times, because like Richard said, in a modern connected world, it doesn't make sense.
I think the main thing is, the takeaway is, at the moment, what they're not doing is making friends. They're not building bridges. They're causing gaps. It's pissing a lot of people off. You may have noticed I'm a bit disappointed about it myself. You're making a great product. Let's all enjoy it.
Well, I would actually bring into that conversation there, Richard. At Destination last year, they were announcing, oh, by the way, Disco Season 4 is out, fantastic, and next week, make sure you watch it. And literally we got, oh yeah, we're not showing it on that way. Even the actors weren't told. The
actors had the raving arsehole about it. They were not happy. They were not happy bunnies. Even they thought it was they were angry about it, mainly from the fan points. But one of them did bring up, and he said, actually, yeah, this is crazy. Everyone's just going to download it instead.
I think that was
that's what he said. One of the actors.
I think that was Doug Jones.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, he said, everyone's just going to download it instead. Then, fine.
So next week we'll be discussing in depth Strange New Worlds episode 1. So if you are interested in Strange New Worlds and you're one of our beautiful international viewers, we'll be talking about episode 1. Although we'll be on episode 2 next week. So we're going to do it a week in arrears, which gives us time to talk and get some more nuggets of information out for that one. So that's our hour. Fantastic. Thank you for watching. As always, this show couldn't happen without you, the lovely viewers. We do have a lot of new content and exciting things on the way. We've got reviews of Exo-6s. We've got Playmobil. We've got Strange New Worlds to talk about. We've got Recreate a Scene for under £20 or dollars.
£10. Build the Voyager.
Build the Voyager.
If you want some real content, there's Trekkie Girls on Fridays at 9.
Yeah, so you've got Trekkie Girls on a Friday at 9. You've got, at the moment, you are all spoiled for Star Trek content. And it's not just us.
There's a plethora of Star Trek content.
There is a plethora of Star Trek content.
In fact, James, could you hold that up? I think we have a plethora of plethoras.
That's 15 plethoras.
Richard?
No, 16.
Richard, I have a question for you. What is a plethora?
You said it then.
A plethora.
Oh, 17.
Dan, I know I do not have your intellect and education, but could it perhaps be that in fact you're angry at not being able to watch Strange New Worlds and you are in fact taking it out on me?
Just a little.
It is a sweater!
It is a sweater.
I wonder, can you get the sweater from that? Because if you can, you are getting it for your birthday, because yours birthday's in the middle of the summer, so that'd be perfect.
Yes, my birthday is in July.
You're getting a sweater.
I'm going to a party, but
well,
it's
what
not
is
for
it
me.
the girls like? It's a cable knit cream sweater, don't they? I'll get you one of those. Really chunky one.
Yes, so that has been the show. Thank you so much for watching. We will, of course, catch you next week. If you've enjoyed the show, if you can press share, if you can press like, if you can tell your friends about
watching,
more viewers, the better. Thank you.
Right, James, just before we go, plethora.
That does say count, doesn't it? Hold it closer. That's
plethora.
Inconceivable.
Bye.
Bye.